everyone. Good afternoon and welcome to today's leadership webinar. So we're excited to have you all here. My name is Kwabena Mate, the charity manager for the Guba Foundation. And in our midst, we have the one and only Mr. Kwabena Obeng Darko, who is an African entrepreneur. He holds a BSc in agricultural engineering and an MSc in bioprocess engineering from UCD. This is somebody who is well experienced in the space of emotional intelligence and impacts the lives of so many individuals, both young and old. So with not so much ado, I would hand over to Mr. Obeng Darko and give him the floor. Thank you.
Good afternoon from Ghana, Accra. Thank you very much. I'm happy to be here. All right. Okay. So, are we ready?
Yes, hello? We can hear you.
Okay. All right. Okay. So, what's the format? You asking me questions, or I should just speak? Hello? Hello? Can you hear me, please? Hello? Oh. Yes. Can you hear me?
Yes, we can hear you, sir.
Yes. I was asking a question. Am I supposed to just talk, or you're asking questions? What's the format?
Yes. Yes, I can hear you. You were asking.
Yes. Am I answering questions from you, or I should just go ahead and speak?
No, please, you can go ahead, sir. Kindly take the floor.
All right. Okay. So
thank you.
Yes, the human factor is the most complicated factor in any endeavor. If you want to achieve anything in any field, the most complicated system, if you want, is the human factor. How they think, their aspirations, their weaknesses, what they value, what they call respect. And you, as a leader, it's your duty to understand these things. If you don't understand human beings, you're likely not to get the best from them. And human beings are also brought up in cultures, an environment that teach them different things. So emotional intelligence is you having the database or developing the right knowledge to have the right skill set to work with people, to work with people. And the other time I went to one of our places, one of our shops, and there was an incident. The manager there was so much unhappy with one of the girls because she had come and was moody the whole day. And she, being a manager, she didn't know how to handle it, I suppose. So I told her, listen, human beings have problems. You don't know what happened at home before they came to work. And she was saying, yes, we all have our problems. And so when you come to work, you should leave your problems at home and come. And say, yes, it's easier said than done. But if you are in our country, because one of the things that people really complain about in Ghana is the work ethics of the people, how the people behave. You can't trust them, you can't depend on them, they don't know how to work, they come to work late. In as much as those things may be true, what I think is that much of it can be solved with the right leadership or with the right leadership development. And so I will not so much put the blame on how people work, but much on how people are able to understand our people and how they're able to lead them and work with them. So you cannot really lead the people if you don't know who you are as a person. If you don't understand yourself, your weaknesses, the things that you are strong in, even the environment of the people, you yourself, what developed you, those are very key to how you're able to lead in any circumstance or in any situation. If you are condescending, it's likely that you can be a good leader. If you're not so much tough-minded in difficult times and resolved and resilient, it's likely that when problems come, you will not be the one leading to solve it. You will find somebody to blame and accuse. So emotional intelligence is actually developing this inner strength, if you want, inner skills, so that you can deal with challenges in the workplace, in whatever institution that you're leading, and also be able to solve problems and bring out the best in people. You don't need to shout at people for them to do what they have to do. If you have been able to develop the right work culture, because the work culture is responsible for the output and the behavior of the people, and is the duty of the leader to be able to weave a very strong work culture based on the culture of the people and based on the vision of the organization. And so if the work culture is weak, the people's output will be weak. And all these things come down to your ability to understand yourself as a leader and also to understand the development processes of the people. Your ability to understand their mindset, as I said, the things that are very much important to them. These are key to you bringing the best in the people. And I think that there are a lot of leadership courses and leadership principles. But when it comes to the Africans, if the right foundations are not built, all the other ones, I don't see them work to the best of our abilities. What it means is that when you're building, you must have strong foundation. A lot of the materials that are given out, many of them don't put the things that we have to understand to have the right foundation in place. If your business is in Ghana, we have to deal with people who come to work and they want to go to church. They're dealing with all kinds of situations at home. They're family oriented. Today I posted something on my Facebook and I was saying that what is the percentage of Ghanaians who would want to travel abroad? And come and see the young minds and how they are arguing and saying that anybody who is successful in Ghana had to travel and come back. They had to go and raise capital. They put a lot of blame on the government. Now, if you have a business and these are the minds that you're handling, you cannot just go and teach them leadership from all these other countries without understanding the psyche of the young minds or the people that you're working with, which means that you have to deal with it. How do they even see themselves? And how do they see the world? How do they understand themselves? How do you deal with the myth that they have about the rest of the world and what they even talk or say about their own country? If you're able to put these things in a certain level, then you'll be able to inspire them to work, because the proof of your leadership is not so much when you are shouting, but it's so much when you are not present and what they have to do to make sure that the work is done. And I say that it's not just one day work. It takes a lot of effort. It takes a lot of time. And I don't think you ever stop doing this. It comes in different stages, but it's workable, it's doable. And you can measure that by the way they work and the stress level in your work environment or in organization. So you're supposed to inspire them, to talk to them. We actually, in our workplaces, we don't even speak a lot of English, actually. We speak the language that the people understand, because part of emotional intelligence is being able to read people, to understand what they understand. And so when you're talking to people and they are getting you, you will see it. If you are not able to understand, when people are not picking signals from you, it means emotionally you are not present as a leader. You should be able to pick signals. You are talking to them, their body language, the way they make their faces, whether they are standing or they are sitting. All those, the things that they are not speaking in terms of words, can you pick them? Your ability to pick these signals has a lot to do with the level of emotional intelligence that you have developed as a leader. And you are also able to, you should also be able to, develop them to be able to work together in spite of their differences. And that comes from your ability to at least work on their minds in terms of how they are able to work together. They should be able to look at the bigger vision of the business than, sorry to say, their petty interests. They should be able to defend the business when there is danger. There was a time that these regulators came around in one of our places, and the gentleman there was so he was fighting and talking and preventing them from they wanted to close the workplace. And one of the people who came around said that, why are you so much? Why is the work for your father or is the work for your mother? Now, the proof of your training for your workers is that they take the work as theirs, and they will not disown you in terms of threat or danger. And you cannot put that in them if they don't feel part of the business and they don't feel respected in the company and they don't feel heard in the company, if you want. If they don't feel like they are part of you and understood and their interest is at heart, it will be very, very difficult for them to actually be part of the business, especially when there's trouble. If your workers or your relationships or your team, if they break down or they leave you when there is difficulty, it means that you did not really put this kind of thing in them in the workplace. Because it's not just about money, but it's also about people developing to a state where they take full responsibility for the work that they do. And they know that if you really want to leave, you don't leave when things are good, when things are bad, actually. But if you want to leave, you leave when things are good. And these things you take it upon yourself as a leader to teach them. And you can't teach them when you are absent in terms of your emotional connection. So ability to really be honest with the way you talk with them. If they know that you are very much straightforward and kind-hearted, but also firm, those things will rub off on them. Are you able to listen to different views, or it must be your way? If you're intelligent in terms of emotions, you're able to listen, even though you may not agree, you may not be happy, especially when they are part of your team. If you're not able to listen to them, it's likely that they will not also be able to listen to you when you really need them to listen. And your ability to be open-minded as well. Your ability to be open-minded. Are you open-minded? Are you somebody that they can feel, even though we know that boss does not agree with this, but at least we are not ashamed, or we are not afraid to tell him our position? Are they afraid or scared, or think that they'll be fired because they disagree with you, or they will be okay sharing what they think you don't even agree with? Are you able to crack jokes and have fun with them? Because one of the things that I use is, if you want to pick a lot of information from people you work with, the atmosphere or the environment does not have to be tense. Many times you crack jokes. And when you want people to let their guards down, if you want, you joke about things that are important to them without, without putting them down. Most people will easily talk about their relationship, their boyfriend, their husband in a jovial way. You can easily get anybody to talk when you crack jokes on things that are important to them. And so if they know that when you're there, it's just nice, but then they will not take you for granted, or they know that if they do something that is not right based on the the laws that you have set, they know that they cannot go scot-free if you want. But then they know that you can be free, you can crack jokes, you are easy to deal with, and you're down to earth. Those things come from, I think, emotional intelligence. The ability to work with people and they feel like you are not better, or you are not at a level higher than them, or threatened because of your position, is part of your ability to lead and to bring the best out of people. So, and you not being so much emotionally reactive when something that you didn't expect happens. Let's say somebody that you so much trusted steals money. What is your response at that time that you hear it? Are you able to keep yourself calm and listen, or you explode? If you don't take care, you explode. And it's okay to explode. But then if you explode at that point, emotionally, you maybe you were off. Because when you come back, because it's very difficult for you to solve things when you are so much hyperactive, if you want. When you are so much emotionally out of order. So when something you did not expect happens, mark yourself. How do you handle it? If you're able to handle it calmly, it's likely that you're emotionally there, intelligent, if you want. But if you don't want to hear anybody, or you feel so broken and let down, and so much angry that nobody can even speak to you, it means that you have to work on yourself. So emotional intelligence in leadership. I think as Africans, I think we it's not so much difficult for us to get this. I think so, because we those of us who grew up in a community, in a compound house with our families, we grew up with this sense of care and thinking of what others feel. And so if you just put a little light on it and educate, many of them can easily pick it. There are so many things that all of us know, but we may not put them together constructively and work with them as a model. And so maybe you add it to your training manual, you teach them, and if you have challenge in that, you also study it yourself. So so knowledge is required of yourself, and knowledge of the people, knowledge of the culture. You know your strength and you know your weakness, but there's not much you can get done if you are not able to work with people. And then when you want to get somebody to do something, I like what many times the people in Kumasi do. When they want to ask you for a favor, they don't come just like that. There's something that they do. And many times you can see that they are going to ask something, but they talk to you so much that your nerves are down. Then they can hit you. It's not a bad thing, it's a good thing. That's why they you look at the chief in the palanquin, or the appellations that they give to the chiefs. Why? If somebody sometimes you go to, let's say, places, and the security wants to take money from you, but look at the things that they say. Boss, today I like your car. What do you think they are doing? They are priming you. Why is it that you're not able to withstand it and fight it? Because humans are emotions, or humans are emotional, and it depends on which one that you're tapping, or which one that you're focusing on. And so when you want to go and negotiate, when you are dealing with somebody who has power to say no or yes, you really have to pay attention to this. You communicate to their respect, to their power, to their sense of being. Are you trying to patronize them? I say, it's part of negotiation. If you want to negotiate with anybody and win, You can't just go with all your power. Sometimes you have some other ones that you would have to at least let go. So they're all part of your ability to spot the fact that human beings are full of emotions. So whether you're dealing with the top or you're dealing with your equals or you're dealing with the down, your sense of respect, your sense of understanding, your sense of listening, they prove that you really were emotionally there as a leader. Emotionally there as a leader. And somebody said that in everything, when you want to find a leader, you find the leader when things are out of order, when there's trouble, when there are difficulties, when there are challenges. The leader will be the one that will show up. Or the other ones, will try to find some cover. And so it's a development. And you knowing this can affect or improve or bring some kind of success to your business, any project that you're on. Because the success of it is purely on the leadership. If it fails, it's not the people, it's you. If it works out, it's all of you. But if it doesn't work, you have to take responsibility, because you are the one to tell them, yes, there's money, there's no money, yes, go this time or don't go this time. You are the one to change. You are just like an architect. You are the one, or you're just like an engineer or like a coach. You have the formula and you decide who should stay where and who should move somewhere. And your ability to identify the feelings and even sometimes what people are thinking innerly, they come out of your emotional intelligence. And so you inspire them, you talk to their greatness, and actually you can build with your strength. We actually build with our strength, I think. And you prevent losses and damage and collapse by taking care of the weaknesses. So you develop people's strength so that they can get results, so they can deliver, they can bring growth and development. And so when you have a team, once you identify people's strength, you focus on their strength if you want growth. But many times leaders would want to just correct. And where do you correct? It's when many people are weak. And you can keep correcting. Maybe the errors will reduce, but they will not bring so much growth. So you focus so much. If you want to deliver, if you want to win, if you want to bring results, you look at what people are very naturally good at, and then you praise or you position them, you groom them to develop their strength so that you can win with them. So what again? And so cultural sense is key, social sense is key. Listen to people. The ability to work on your confidence and their own confidence is also key. And be open-minded. Pay attention to people's feelings. When people want to go to funeral, when there's an auntie who has trouble, you can't just be, you can't just say, it's not like that here. You're working with human beings. It's not machines. The difference between human beings and machines is that machines don't have feelings. So they just do it at your command. Human beings have feelings. They have emotions. They want to be accepted. They want to be loved. They want to matter. They want to be respected. Can you train yourself to work with that? And it also does not mean that they can just take anything that they want from you. They also should know that you're firm. And the tissue that is not, the tissue that is cancerous can also be taken out. Because sometimes in the team, sometimes just one person who is not doing so much well in the team, when that person is taken out, there's much peace. If you have a business and there's always complications, you are always resolving issues between people, there's somebody or there are some people who are not supposed to be part of the team. And it's your duty as a leader to identify those people and maybe train them. And if they don't respond to your training, you take them out. There's so much difficulty, or there are so many troubles in building anything, that you should not spend a lot of time correcting people every time. There are so many things that you have to focus on. And so if every day they are calling your boss, this one and this one are not talking, this one and this one are not agreeing, you're wasting a lot of time. And so you really have to pay attention and say that, no, this one we are not dealing with it. And many times when people don't want to be part of the team, one of the things you see is that they are ungrateful for being there. They're ungrateful. They're not happy. They think that they are doing you a favor. One of the best signs of great team players is that they are thankful to be part of the team, and they look at the bigger picture, and they talk well of the fact that you have given them opportunity to be here. So you can easily identify those who don't qualify to be part of the team. They are always, they are not happy, and you are always the trouble. And when you have met them and talk about something, and they will come and have another meeting with them. If you are the boss and you know that, and you still cannot take the person out, it means you're being weak as a leader. Even if you cannot take the person out entirely, take some of the responsibility and some of the power from the person. It shows that you're a leader. And leaders must be courageous and firm. Leaders should not be the ones complaining and talking and crying and looking for help. That's why you are the leader. You inspire, you encourage, but then you also take action where there are things that you don't expect to happen. So, and when they know that they can manipulate your emotions, they will do it. And so when the frustrations, you should not be, even though human beings are the most complicated element of the business, you should not be frustrated with that if you are so much up to task, because you can always take somebody or reposition somebody or train somebody or bring new people. Sometimes you can let everybody go and build a whole different team, and they will still have to work according to your expectation because of the skill set that you have to build a culture that will deliver what you're expecting. And all these things cannot happen when you yourself as a leader are not emotionally intelligent. And so I think that technical expertise are very much important, but success really comes from this one. Success comes from this one. That's why many people who have become very successful in this life are people who are resolved and focused and tough, and the ability to focus on something and work with it in spite of all the nuisances. Their pain threshold level, if you want, is very high. They're able to endure a lot of discomfort and challenges and pain. And many times, a leader must not put his interests first. If you put your interests first, you are likely not to be a good leader. You are likely to be a corrupt leader, because you're always looking at what will benefit you first. No, your interest is supposed to be the last one. As a leader, your interest is supposed to be the last one. You actually have to even sacrifice yourself for the rest of the team, if you're a leader, for the vision to become a reality. So leadership is sacrificial. Leadership is you have to endure a lot of challenges and criticisms and mistakes and controversies. If you're looking to be loved, if you're looking at you being loved by the people that you lead, you may not be able to lead anybody. So even in your business, sometimes at home, and sometimes the family, even political leadership, you look at it. If they are looking for love from the people, they will never do things that will benefit the people. And if they put their interest first and their comfort, they will not be able to deliver as expected. So, and you can do this if you are not building yourself. Can you encourage yourself? Are you the person who can encourage yourself when nobody's there? Sometimes you are delivering, you are at the peak of your performance, and there's no friend, there's no wife or husband, there's no sister or mother or cousin to speak to you. And you are the one, you know what you're dealing with. And so you just want to be understood, but sometimes you cannot be understood. Maybe it is only between you and God. Can you keep yourself without breaking down? Because some people say that, what do they call it? Burnout or something like that, Once you put yourself out to lead, that's it. So is there anything that really rejuvenate within you? And those things will come because you're really developing yourself, you're really understanding yourself, developing strong philosophy and understanding what it takes for anything to get done, and much of it rests with you as a leader. So you part the way, or you show the way, and you put a team together, and you inspire the team. You speak to their greatness, and you look at their skill set, and you show them respect. and you show them acceptance and kindness, and you understand the culture that they come from. And a leader must be patient, particularly if you're leading a business here in Ghana. You must be patient. Does that mean that you can't get a lot of work done? I don't think you should lead our people like the way the Chinese lead them. They treat them like they are not human beings. They just want their business. That's it. I don't think that's the way to develop a people. That's the way to develop a country. And so they don't care, but we do care. And so we cannot lead our people like others who lead them, in spite of what we don't like or what we don't understand. We should be able to lead our people in a way that they can become better. And you should be able to inspire them to learn things that are important for their own development. And the things that will also make them successful in their lives as well. And these things, when you know them as a leader, you teach them. You teach them. And so this is all about it. So thank you. Hello. Hello. Can you hear me? And if anybody has a question, they can ask also. Yes. So I'm through with it. If you have questions, you can ask. And so leadership has to be patient, and it's a battle for every one of us. It's not like there's anybody who has overcome this, because life is in constant change. Life is in constant change all the time. And so we ourselves are emotional beings, and so we are changing. We have our difficulties, we have challenges that we are dealing with all the time. But if you're leading any organization, if you have any project, if it's something that you have to do, and then you have to understand that you're working with human beings. And you yourself, you have to constantly work on your mind, on yourself, on your emotions. Sometimes you are at the point where you just want to tell people what you think, and just shout. Sometimes you should be able to create a schism. You should be able to create maybe some space between you getting angry and you hitting the target, so that at least you can come out as somebody, because some things that you let out as a leader is very much difficult for those who follow you to easily let go. Because once you lead any people, whether you like it or not, you occupy a position that makes the others a bit more vulnerable to listen and to hear you. And what you say will mean so much to them. And that's why even sometimes jokingly, when you put people down, it hurts them. Your children, the people you work with, the people who look up to you. It doesn't matter their age. Once you occupy that space, you represent God in some sense. And so what you say, even if it's joke, should be able to lift people up than to put them down. So any questions? I've seen what are some of the barriers to exercising effective emotion. Some part of it is arrogance. You're trying to say that you're better than others. Can let you not be so much, because the moment you think that you're better than other human beings, you'll put yourself to fail as a leader. Once they look like you, they have the same nose, eye, they're human beings, and they have just about the same right as you to deserve respect and things that human beings should be accorded. And so if you forget that it's just a position that you're occupying, and basically you're all same human beings, you may be arrogant. And once you're arrogant, you're set to fail. One of the things that will make any leader fail is when they think they're better than the rest, or they're wiser than the rest. You're likely to fail.
Thank you. Someone has another question. It says, is there any negative effect in being very friendly with your workers or team as a leader?
Yes, you put yourself there to be disrespected, because some people would have to be groomed to understand that they don't have to be shouted at. It doesn't have to be hey, 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 before they see that you are the leader. Unfortunately, that's why in some countries, I will mention here, that's why they put themselves, in big cars, go to the office, because they think that that will send a signal to the people that they are the leader. Maybe it works, but it really it's unproductive. So you should be friendly with people. So you cannot just put yourself somewhere and think that they will just follow you.
Thank you, sir. Then we have another question from Maoli Akpo. It says, when do you exercise your authority as a leader? I think that's in relation to the earlier question that was asked.
Yes, I mean, when you have given instruction and the person is trying to play around it, you let them know that you are the leader. I said, do this. Why haven't you done it? You require that they do it. Don't let them put it down. You exercise this because you have given instruction they should follow. Or maybe there's a law that everybody should follow, and they try to say that no. You have to let them know that you are the one responsible for that. So you insist that this one, I told you to do this. I need report. How far has it gone? When is it being finished? I mean, when is it getting done? Don't just let them know. Sometimes they are friendly, but the reason for the leadership, the reason for the team, the reason for everything is so that we can get the work done. Major part of it. Yeah. So if you are giving instruction and you're not getting the work done, it's not the person, it's the leader saying that, listen, I gave you this. Why are you not doing it? If either you take the person out and get somebody who can do it, or you have to do whatever is important as a leader to make sure that it is done.
Thank you so much, sir. We have another question from Lovia Arthur. It says, can you give few tips you can use? I think you've answered this in the presentation, but let's just go ahead for answering sake. Can you give few tips you can use to stop yourself from getting angry at a point when you're really pushed at a limit?
Wow. It's I mean, all of us, especially those of us who are, when you're very much consummated, if you want, with a vision, with a business, and you love people, sometimes you can forget yourself, not to understand that human beings also have weaknesses. Human beings have challenges, just as you have challenges. And so when somebody has broken the law or done something that you're not so much happy with, just think that you're also human. I think that you're also human. And whatever you drop down, you may not be able to pick it back again. And so quote it, find a way to quote it so that you can say it nicely. Because the essence is to get the work done. But I wouldn't say sometimes don't shout. I think sometimes you have to shout. But you have to shout knowing that you are shouting and saying something, not to break the spirit of the person. Because the intention is to get the work done, not to break the person. If your intention is to break the person and rip off, of their confidence, then that is not that's not the essence of leadership. It's not just to break the person no, it's to just make sure that the person becomes confident to get the work done. What I see is that in some organizations, all that they do is to just put people in line with a lot of quotation on humility, and discipline. And I don't think you will get a lot of people. Must be confident and assertive to work, especially in your absence. And so if you break them to a point, and so just understand that you are just like any other person. You're a human being, and you can also make mistakes.
Thank you so much, sir. I like the phrase that you said, that what you drop down, you might not be able to pick up, because most of the times, yes, words cannot be taken back. They will always hang in the air. Yes. So that is true.
Yeah.
There's another question that came in. So it says, sir, you can relate cordially well with them, but some team members are very difficult to handle. How do you harness the best out of such individuals in spite of their shortfalls?
Okay. Some of the shortfalls that I will not put up with is when they denigrate the business or you. That one is not part of the team. So let's say a worker likes drinking. That one I can deal with it, or maybe likes chasing women. I can deal with it. But for the person to be arrogant, disrespectful, you say something, they say what they want, they tell you what they think without even thinking that you're the leader, that should not be part of the team. So I suppose that is not the shortfall. That's really something that is not right. A weakness is not supposed to be wickedness, if you want. The weakness, all of us have it. But for you to intentionally destroy what is being built, that one you as a leader must take the person out. That's why you fire. It's like the Black Stars, the coach. You are the coach, and players are insulting, and you are there. Why are you the coach? You are the coach to make sure that they are on the same team. You can put up with their weakness, but disrespectfulness and all the other things that you know will not make any team work. You have to take them out. So take them out of the team and build the team that is a team supposed to be together. A team supposed to cover themselves, their weaknesses. A team supposed to focus on the goals. If the person is there and is not focused on the goals, is disrespect. They are not part of the team. So I wouldn't call that weakness. I would call that somebody who's not supposed to be part of it. And you can't work with everybody anyway. So you should make sure that the person really wants to be part. Because the reason you're part of the team is so that you can score the goal. You're there to score. So if you're there to do other things, why are you part of the team in the first place? You should be a spectator. And it's your duty as a leader to make sure that everybody on the team is focused on winning. They should not become disturbance.
Thank you so much. Emmanuel Balang has a question. He says, I used to get angry at the little things my staff do. I am an administrator of a school. How do I get out of this?
Yes. So you have a lot of expectation for them. And sometimes if you have lived abroad, you come here and say, Ghanaians are lazy. Ghanaians don't work hard. Ghanaians don't just take it easy for us. I'm not saying put up with that, but take it easy. Get angry. So hope that your heart will not blow. Don't get angry like that. No. Be patient. Just as your child, I know mothers, for instance, if your child is just 3 months, 4 months, when they do something, you can bear with them because you know there's a child. I think your responsibility is to keep on training them and also weed out those who are not supposed to be part of the team. So if you are angry and frustrated, it means that you're really not building a team. So it means that many of them are not supposed to be there. You have not really built a culture that can produce the best of people you can work with. And it's not true that people don't know how to work. We just have failed to develop or build the right culture that can develop our people. That's what we have failed to do. And so your anger, look at where it's coming from and see how you can solve it. But many times it's your duty. How do you recruit them? Is somebody recruiting them for you? What are they using? What do they look out for? And when they come and you did not recruit them, what training manuals do you have? I don't think we should just train on just the technical aspect. People are largely training on technical. You're a teacher, how to teach. No, I think many times you have to teach on the personal development aspect of it. How are they also developing themselves outside the workplace? Are they committed to getting the right knowledge, exposing themselves to things that will make them, better people? Or when they go home, they are watching cantata, football all the time. It means that the mind is distracted. And once it's like that, when they come, so we expose them to some of this, especially part of our models is we also deal with religion and things like that. We deal with them because if you're at the workplace and you get sick and you think that is coming from your father's home or there's a case somewhere, you are thinking it's not right. We should help you to think differently. You know, and many times the things that are destroying the minds of our people, religion is part of it. The way we understand, you know, somebody is going to buy powder to spray at the workplace so that people will come and do business with you. That's wrong. So if somebody thinks like that, then there's no value for training, because really the results is not coming from you; it's coming from the powder. And unfortunately, it's very much widespread in our community. So people really don't develop themselves, don't think, don't take training seriously, because we have confused our faith with a lot of things. And maybe you yourself, you're in that as well. Any little thing you're looking for some demon somewhere, some spirit somewhere who is responsible for that, not you. I don't think so. You can practice your faith, but the proof of your faith, the quality of your faith is really your practice of love, your practice of truth, you know, kindness, things like that really show that you say. And in Ghana, particularly, you're super church and religious, you know, and yet the tenants we don't practice many times. And so your love for the people and the ability to think soundly is key. And you can't do that when you are not teaching them some of these things. So they don't just have to be taught how to code or how to do presentation, but also how to develop their minds as full human beings, so that they can have confidence in their own abilities as well.
Thank you so much, sir. Do we have any more questions? Does anyone have any more questions? Kindly type it in the chat box so Mr. Obeng Darko can answer all the questions. I have a question, sir, as I wait for someone to ask.
Okay.
I would say, what are some of the most common misconceptions, about emotional intelligence? Because most of the time people try and use that as a cover up, even when they are not being emotionally intelligent. So what are some of the misconceptions that are common to the public or common to within the workspace of what emotional intelligence is?
Wow. Okay. I think they think that is something that is new, which I don't think is new. It's something that somebody should come and teach us, especially from somewhere. I don't think so. I think it's just something that we all grew up with, that we are not paying attention to. And so it's not something strange. It's just as we grew up. You caring for your friend, going to visit them when they are sick, going to their funeral, calling them to see how they are doing, or even sometimes covering for them. Those things, giving money to your friend when they are in difficult, those are all coming from that. That's the way I think. So it's not something special. So that I hope I've answered your question. I hope I understood it. But I think that, as a matter of fact, if you're an African, it's easy. The problem that we have now is the modern education in our cities and the modern family setting. That is a struggle now, where you grew up with only your mother and your father, and you stay at home alone. You are driven and come home, and you're not exposed to the larger community. Sometimes you don't even go to church, no funeral, no parties, nothing. Then you may have some bit of struggle with it, but it's all over in our country. So I hope I understood your question.
Yes, thank you for that answer, because it's something that um, is a bit of a concern when people rush to define what it is or think it's a new concept, like what you said. I believe Ghanaians were quite good at practicing
Yeah,
emotional intelligence because we're
that's
so
right.
open and loving, but people still tend to tell you what they really need or what they feel they need.
Mm,
So
mm.
that is
Yeah,
good.
we have it. We have it in the larger state. We just have to channel it and call it. You know, sometimes you are using something and somebody will come and name it for you and tell you they discovered it.
Yes,
Well, many times
yes.
you're just using it. It's just a name that they have put on it. Mhm.
Thank you, sir. And I think whilst we're waiting for more questions, we would have space for only one more question. But let me just ask a quick one whilst we're waiting. I would say also, especially within our Ghanaian culture, we tend to have a lot of family um, notions, or more like family ideals. Even and we sometimes bring those ideals to the workspace in terms of we feel we should be working as one family. But where do you draw the line? I know you stated about maybe getting making sure you don't get angry, watching what you say. But in other retrospects or in other um, considering other things, where do you draw the line in terms of we know we have a friendly culture in Ghana. We always say yes, please, yes, please, yes, please, and we're always polite. But at the back of it, that might not be the person's mind. So how do we still keep that? Yes. We someone once said Ghanaians pretend to be nice, but they are not nice, which
Oh,
was funny for me because we always say yes, please, but we
oh.
also have our mindset when we have our mindset. That was somebody who doesn't live here with us, so that was just yeah.
I
So
think,
how
yeah,
do
I think,
we?
yeah. hmm
Mhm.
Go ahead, please.
No, please go ahead.
I think we are very nice people because after all, when they work with you and they want to leave, they don't come attack you or they don't come insult you or plan to kill you or something like that. I think we're able to take negative news in a way better as a people. And
That is true.
yes, I think we're able to take negative. You're able to deal with one of the things of the thing they call emotional intelligence is you're able to deal with pain. You can take things that you didn't expect and still have a broader view and say that this is just a stage, it will pass, let's deal with it. Then just say this is the end, let me kill him. So when you're emotionally unintelligent, you can make very dangerous decisions because your pulse is so
Yeah.
close. And many times Ghanaians can let it go. We think it's wrong, I don't know, but I think it's a good thing. So family,
Mm.
uh, the thing is we should get the work done. So we are family. You
Yeah.
say you will do it, you have smart, but get the work done. For what you will think in your head, I mean, we are all thinking things in our head. So it's okay. You can think in your head, but let's get the work done. Did you listen? Did you follow up? Give me feedback.
Yeah.
So I think it's the way we work. We work differently, and the world has been,
Mm.
a lot of the principles on leadership and in these things have come from one dimension, which is the West, without
Right.
taking in consideration other cultures and how they do things. Therefore, when you do anything differently, they want to say that theirs is the standard and ours is not. And many of us have bought into that kind of thinking, said that we come with a standard, and that standard is built
Mm-hmm.
on someone's culture, which is mainly the Western culture. And we think that if it's not that way, then others would have to evolve to be. I don't think it's the way.
Exactly.
I don't think at all. I think
Exactly.
different cultures is just like you. Food is food. You can prepare fufu and eat. You can also prepare the food and eat. You can't tell me that if I want to prepare food, I should use the way you prepare your food to call it fufu. Really, that's what they're telling the rest of us.
Exactly.
And so, if you study and you consume a lot of their data, you may think that you know a lot, and yet when you apply it, they don't work because it's a different environment.
Exactly.
And they say that you
Yeah,
don't
it's
get a lot of
different
things
culture.
done. Different culture. So you can still look at this Ghana and get a lot of things done if you really look at the approach. The same Ghana.
Thank you. Thank you so
Thank you.
much. We have two more questions, then we're wrapping up. So Stephanie Adu has a question.
Mhm.
It says, in the process of exhibiting emotional intelligence, how then should the individual adjust him or herself to continually be emotional intelligence because it can be draining, which is true.
It can be draining. Okay. I uh, I think you should focus your energy on the things that are very key. Because if you focus your energy on the things that are expected of you to do, then you can conserve some of the energy. The reason you dissipate a lot of energy is because you are all over. The things that are not supposed to get your attention, and that's where people get drained. And so I don't know if what I'm saying makes sense, but I'm saying if you're a leader and you need to develop the team to do the work, you know, give more attention to that. than trying to get into all other things. And many times those things don't really get the goals achieved. And so, and you should continually create content or develop your content. That's all I want to say. If you put a 5 kg weight there and the person can lift, maybe is a heavyweight champion or something, he can lift 100. 5 kg can never drain the person because of the capacity that they have developed. Many times your draining point is your strength point, which means that you should be able to develop, continue to build capacity if you want to take a lot, because leadership is work. And it also means that challenge your philosophy and your thinking about what should get you to break down. Because the things that will break you down, or some things that will break somebody down, many times those things some people don't even really see it. Just like two people, one, your boyfriend leaves you or your girlfriend leaves you, he wants to kill himself, Another person is, okay, there are a lot of boys around, so let's see. It's the same loss, but one is looking at it differently. Why? Maybe he said, well, maybe he didn't love him, maybe, but many times it's the strength that they have developed, because you can put up with losses. And so I would say, if you are in any leadership position, you should know that leadership is not for children. So if things get to you to the point that you become disturbed, you should develop beyond that. It can get to you in a minute, but it shouldn't be sustained. Somebody says something 1 month, you are still angry. No.
No, that's true.
No.
That's true. Thank you so much. And we have the last question from Ama Asante, who's asking how to properly delegate tasks without creating conflict among the team, but still get the work done, or still get them to get the work done. How does one do that?
I think there are people that constantly want to work. Many times they don't even just want to work to please you, but they just want to work. There are people who are at workplaces because they are driven, and they want the business to do well, or they want the company to go for it. Many times I give more attention to those people than the other ones who you have to beg. So if you really want to get work done, if you have all of them developed and they are up to task and their interest is very high, then you can spread it equally. Other than that, give the work to somebody who really shows interest and who can get work done. I mean, that's fair. Than trying to get the lazy boy, you still want to push him to get the work that you need to done critically. You need to get done critically. No, you create frustration. And so you develop people's capacity, the ability to depend on them in critical moments. And I think those are the ones that you give a lot of the work to. And the other ones, you reduce their work until they grow. So there are instances where I'll take work from somebody and give it to another person, because I know this person wants to do more than the other person wants to have fun, And many times we want to have fun, you're on your way out. So
yeah, thank you. Thank you. Yeah. Thank you so much, sir. Thank you for everyone for joining. We said we would close at 5, and it's 5. We just want to thank you, Mr. Obeng Darko, for making time and for everything that you share. Your wisdom and knowledge knows no bounds, and every time we interact with you, there's so much that we learn. We have more questions coming in, but unfortunately, we have to wrap up, guys. So thank you so much, sir, for your time. Thank you, everyone, for joining. We appreciate it. And kindly be made aware that you can get the video on our YouTube page after the session, so you can listen in and continue to learn from the powerhouse that we have here, which is Mr. Obeng Darko. So thank you. And this is bye-bye. So everyone can log off now. Thank you, and do have a lovely rest of the day. Thank you so much for your time, Mr. Obeng Darko.
Thank you.